Hey everybody, this is Modern Refugee. It is after supper and it is in the evening here, and because I can't really do much of anything else, I've been going through some of my gear and checking it out and updating it. But not just my gear, also stuff for the family. And I have done multiple videos on different first aid kits and stuff over the years, and my favorite way to have a first aid kit is a tackle box that has trays that go in and out, and each tray can be for a specific injury or illness or whatever, and I have found that this works the best for me over the years here. Now, my first aid kits are basically revolve around several things. There's injury kits that I have, and there are illness kits, and I have a burn kit, and I have another one that's for splints and that kind of thing, and then I have another one that would be for a long-term wound dressing kit. I have several different, on top of the actual what you would consider an IFAK that I have in vehicles and on chest rigs and that kind of stuff too. But what they call a boo-boo kit nowadays, and I don't even like that terminology because, it might not be a boo-boo to the person that, cut the end of their finger off making supper or, burned themselves out on the campfire because they're, boiling water or something like that. Those kind of smaller injuries, they get downplayed in the modern, preparedness game because everybody's, trying to sell IFAKs and blowout kits and that kind of stuff. But the simple boo-boo kit or just regular first aid kit, what they used to be, is the one out of all my stuff that gets used the most. And this is it right here. This is my number one tray, and my number one tray has the most common things in it for the most common injuries that we use. This thing gets pulled out and ransacked and trashed by the family constantly. So I find myself having to go into this from time to time, pull some bad stuff out, update it, make sure that it's filled up with everything. That's another big thing. When you use something out of a first aid kit, you can only do that so many times because when it becomes deficient in certain items. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to show you what this looks like, the stuff that I have in here, the most common stuff that we use. Talk a little bit about Band-Aid brands. That's something that I've been wanting to do for a while, is talk about some Band-Aid brands with you guys and show you guys what to look for, what to take out of a kit when it's no longer good. And I found a couple of things in this kit here that weren't any good, and I pulled those out. But anyway, I'm going to turn the camera around here. I'm going to open this guy up. I'm going to show you what I got in it and explain to you why I have these things in here. Anyway, guys, stick around. All right, guys, this here is my number one tray. And before I go through and show you guys the stuff that I got in here, I'm going to show you the stuff that I actually took out of here. And these are some of the things that I'm going to pitch. And this right here is a clear or transparent dressing. The technical name is Tegaderm, and what it is it's a clear film that goes over an injury. They use this a lot for like IVs and stuff, but I've found that it's really good for injuries when you don't want the injury to get wet because it actually seals that injury, makes it sort of waterproof. But as you can see, this guy right here has turned yellow. So I don't know if this package has been compromised in some way, shape, or form. But when I see that yellowing on my medical stuff, I typically will pitch it. And here is a Band-Aid that is the same thing here. There is just sort of a yellow tinge to it. So then I don't know if this is still good. I do keep stuff in my first aid kit that's past the expiration date because, I'm on a budget like everybody else. I can't just be constantly throwing out stuff, but I do check to make sure that the integrity is good. And then on the packaging, and this here is a good example of where the integrity could be compromised on that packaging, where this was actually shut in or bent or crunched into something else. So I don't know if this has been compromised and it's no longer sterile, so there's no reason to keep this. So that basically is going to get pitched. And the first thing here, the thing that goes through the most, is just regular Band-Aids. And I have found through the years there's two sizes of Band-Aids that get used the most. The extra large ones, which are these guys right here, and then the medium size ones, like these guys right here. And typically the medium sized ones will actually get used as tape for the other dressing. So you'll put the larger bandage over it, and then you'll use the smaller band-aids to secure it. And when it comes to Band-Aid brands, the ones that I find that have the best adhesive and hold up the best are Rexal's. And I only use Band-Aids that are of the fabric kind, the kind that look like elastic. The plastic ones have just never worked for me. They don't stay on. The adhesive sucks, and I just got away from them. So I use the fabric ones. And the Rexall brand, which is actually the brand that's carried by Dollar General, I have found to be the best. And then the second best is the Equate brand. And the Equate brand is actually the Walmart brand. And the thing about the Walmart brand is you can get those in different sizes. Hence, that's why I got so many of the large ones. And then the other two brands are your big Band-Aid brands, and they're kind of hit and miss. I don't really care for the Band-Aid brands, but sometimes you got to take what you got or what you can get. And then Curad's kind of the same thing. I've had Curad ones that weren't that good either. So if I prefer the Rexall, if I can find them in the right size. That's the thing with Dollar General. There's a lot of, in-stock problems. You can go in there, you might be able to find one size, but not the other. But if I can find the Rexalls, I like them. And if not, then the Equate is on number 2. Another thing is different creams and ointments. There's 2 different types of triple antibiotic. There's a cream and there's an ointment. And I had a doctor tell me years ago that in some cases, creams are better than the ointment because creams don't seal the wound and allow the wound to drain. And that's exactly what I was told. And the thing that I was told on with that in particular was an ingrown toenail. And if you've never had ingrown toenails, they are pretty bad. And a lot of times you're going to need some type of surgical intervention to actually fix them. So I keep a lot of antibiotic creams in all my kits. And another thing that the antibiotic cream will typically have some type of pain reliever in it, which makes it extremely useful for burns and that kind of stuff. But then I also have the ointment too. Sometimes the ointment is beneficial as well. And then I got a couple other creams in here. One, this is calendula cream, and calendula cream is it's a flower. It's like marigold, and calendula is a good natural homeopathic medicine for promotes skin healing, basically. So that's something that I keep in here. That comes in handy for burns in particular. And the same thing with silver cream. This silver wound dressing cream right here is another thing that's very good for burns. So then that's why I keep it in. It's good for everything, but it's good for burns in particular. So that's why I keep it in here. And then these little guys right here are what they call butterflies. And, there's different, they got different names for them now, and they got more high-tech ones. But these old butterflies were used for a lot of years if there was a bigger cut before you could get to stitches or something like that, get that sutured up. Butterflies would go on it, so I always keep a few butterflies in my kit here. Tapes, I keep a cloth tape, and then I always keep a tab of that cloth tape so you can grab it easy. And another thing is this Coban right here, this elastic dressing that sticks on itself. This stuff has to be checked from time to time because this stuff can go bad. And when I say it goes bad, it sticks in on itself and it basically becomes a ball. And that's especially if it's in like hot environments, like if it's in a car or something like that, that can ruin this stuff pretty quick. So this is something that you want to check. Another thing, you want to have some kind of hand wipes in your kit because, if you got a cut or something, you're going to be dealing with blood. So you have to get that blood away from the skin so, your Band-Aids and stuff will stick to it. So, some type of cleaning wipe is worth having. And then this is what the Tegaderms look like here when they're not all kind of jacked up like that other one does. And these, I've got these in, different sizes. And the same thing with gauze pads. I got different gauze pads here for, they can be used for dressings, but then a lot of times you're going to need something to wipe the blood away from the wound again to get the adhesives and stuff to stick so you can actually close that up to stop the bleeding. So I find that a lot of times I'll be using the gauze pads to basically clean everything up before I go ahead and put everybody back together depending on what the injury is. But anyway, that is my kit here. I'm going to turn the camera back around again and give you guys a little bit of a wrap up. And that, guys, is basically the rundown here on my boo-boo kit, or just regular, basic family first aid kit. But some of the takeaways here, some of the things that I just want to review quick, cloth, Band-Aids. Have some way to separate your first aid kit. Like I said, I like to divide it by illness and injuries. Go through your first aid kits from time to time. Make sure that you don't have any, packaging that is deformed or compromised. And this yellowing here is always a good sign that the stuff is too old, needs to get pitched. And then there's different types of creams and ointments to disinfect and to put those wounds and stuff back together, and always have something to clean the blood and stuff off of the skin and whatnot, so you can get a good adhesion on those dressings so they actually do their job. But just some things I want to talk about here while I'm repacking my first aid kit. And like I said, this is the one that gets beat up most by the family, so I wanted to touch base and dive into it just a little bit more in depth with you guys here, so you guys can see what I do, and then hopefully give you guys some ideas so you can put together first aid kits for yourself. Anyway, this is Modern Refugee. Appreciate all my subscribers out there. Hope you guys get a little information, a little entertainment out of this video as always. You guys have a good one.